Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Metroid Prime 4. Last time we left off, we need to find more TK codes, because I need to get into this door. Looks like this all connects over here, but I'm guessing I can't get to it for some reason. Because this connects here, and yeah, We'll see. I clearly need to get through that door for, raisins. So, we gotta go see what's going on. Circuits are torn, not receiving any current. Gate materials otherwise indestructible. What else do we got? Yeah, I can't get in most of these doors. Hello. Looks like they connect. But I need to be able to get in there. Yeah, they definitely connect. And the question is, how do get in there in the first place? Is that a drop? Maybe. It looks like it could be like a morph ball tunnel or something. Maybe it's here. Aha. This could be it. And that's the one I gotta destroy with ice. Sorry, out of my way, little baby. Okay. So what do I get out of actually coming in here? This is probably a TK code. Test capsule with temperature control function contains a blood sample. Experimental capsule containing a TK code. There we go. And we want it to be this way, because when it's the right way, it gives you a little bit of resistance. There we are. Cool. 1 of 4. Oh, this one requires a lot more. Okay. And then, yeah, this is just going to talk about blood samples. Control function. Contains a prototype medicine. Contains samples of poisonous liquid. And last but not least, body tissue sample. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I do not see a way to get access to the rooms over there from in here, which is about what I expected, but I can do the exact same thing that I did here if I get to that other side. Oh, hi. Whoa. God, where did I toss you? Jeez. None of that. Bad bot. Nothing really here. It's just an elevator. It says it's a data terminal. It looks like an elevator though, but I guess it wouldn't have anywhere to, unless it went down. And yeah, I don't really see anything else in here that could potentially be useful. Obviously I have a bunch of lasso doors I can pull off. Over here... You know what, let's go in this one first. Boom. TK code? Research sample storage capsule. Liquid sedative? Yeah. Sedative variant. Accessing encrypted file. Awakening. The subject is in hibernation in the cryopod, and its metabolism is at minimum levels. Fortunately, we are unable to perform the experiments we'd like with the subject in this state. If the subject's metabolic function is inactive, a reversal of its rapid cellular proliferation cannot occur. Rapid cellular proliferation. First, we must wake the subject and restore its normal metabolic function. This also means restoration of consciousness, so appropriate sedation will be crucial. This is just talking about something that that is infected with the green rain, the GRE energy. Because I think it said they had rapid cell proliferation there, which I'm guessing is just like healing. It reminds me of like Wolverine's I forget the name of it. The power has a specific name, but like the crazy regenerative properties that he has. I've seen enough like Wolverine games and played the Wolverine Origins game enough to remember it has a name, but I can't quite remember the name right now. It has a specific name, because Deadpool basically has the exact same thing. Has clamps for fastening containers and specialized omni wheels for maneuvering. Although I think Wolverine's and Deadpool's are probably different for some reason, but I don't know enough about comics to say what that would be. Recovery Pod A1 SPD DR07. Used to place specimens in stasis and heal damage to their internal organs. Griever enclosed after an experimental Lamorne restoration procedure. Yeah. How many of them are going to bust out of their tanks? Used to place specimens in stasis and heal damage to their internal organs. Pod now in lower power mode. Yeah, that's the thing Goku had to be put into on Namek. Used to place specimens in stasis and heal damage to their internal organs. Specimen Griever is preserved. Oh. Pod glass destroyed. Cell structure and preservation liquid has leaked. Life signs of the specimen Griever have ceased. Yeah, and we can't interact with these things at all. It does say there's an enemy in here, but it's not these. Used to place specimens in stasis and heal all damage. All readings read normal. And used to place specimens in stasis and heal damage. Metabolism is set to minimum. Yeah. Cryopod stasis cell analysis implies extended neglect led to death. What are those noises then? It's clearly coming from that. I frankly thought that was going to be where the TK fragment was, and I can't break these. It's just making concerning sounds now. Just making very concerning sounds. Ice is thickened over time, can be melted. Okay. Hello? Oop, this is my entrance. Strong shock will destroy them. Releasing the lock unit on the rear side will allow it to open. Hello? None of that. Goodbye. So long, farewell. Analysis. We are monitoring subjects who have had GE administered here. Regardless of GE concentration, there do not appear to be any significant differences. We see regeneration without an apparent mutation to alter the cells. Furthermore, no matter how deep our analysis, we have yet to see any apparent chromosome abnormalities. It's almost as if they are natural creatures. Put another way, if we were to judge based on DNA, there are no significant differences between them and us. What is going on? Interesting? Saying there's no difference between the Lamorne and the Grievers currently. Are Grievers just Lamorne that have been like super changed by the green energy some way? But they said they were upping the doses and they saw like no changes. Research sample capsule contains a blood sample. Alright, and that's the ice. Oh wait, yeah, you need high temperature. There we go. And then I need to pull this down, even though I don't know what these are yet. Monitor in standby while low power mode is active. Surveillance monitor contains a TK code. Okay, so that's why I wanted to pull it down. It is this away. There you go. Little triangle. Thank you. Does it say pretty much the same thing now? Monitor stabilizer broken, causing it to fall. Recovery pod management. Tracks the state of the contained specimen and sends data to a remote database. Operates normally in low power mode. Cool. Now... Okay, I have to go to that end over there. And I can access the outside here. Yank. Okay. You. Offline and locked. Okay. Still don't know what is up with you. Making very creepy noises. That happened before when it had a TK code, but that one does not have a TK code. Unless I have to do something else to it. Like... No? I don't know, it's weird. Wait, what if I vaporize it? Nope. Alright. I don't really think that would be vaporizing, but you know. Okay. Well, I think we're done there. I imagine there's gonna be a TK code down each of these other paths, since they all seem pretty substantial. I feel like I hear something. It's very easy to just hear worms and think it's an item. Sometimes it's not always an item. Morn-made stretcher, used for specimen transport, can be reconfigured to work as an operating table. The mat is made of hardened gel. More samples. Specimen thawing. Quickly and safely resuscitates frozen specimens without returning them to consciousness. Unused DNA sample. What the? Oh, okay. So extracting DNA for experimentation. It looked like a gear shift in a car. Breakthrough. We may have had a breakthrough today. Until now, we presumed that the physical transformation was triggered by something in the crystals causing compositional changes in the GE, which would in turn cause an abnormality in gene transcription. Yet that is not the case. In actuality, an unused region of the brain linked with the crystals is stimulated, and as a result, genes that would normally have stayed pseudogenes were transcribed. I now wonder, are we unlocking a blocked evolutionary branch? This would mean the Great Tragedy was merely one possible evolution of one's potential future. So with that in mind, what would happen if when administering GE, we disabled those genes at the moment that the rapid cellular proliferation is triggered? There should be sufficient value in attempting this to justify altering the Balsalay system's programming? Are we straight up hinting that Grievers are just a different evolutionary chain of Lamorne sparked by being exposed to this green energy, and then it causes unused genes to be activated instead? So like the Lamorne were basically fighting themselves this whole time, except like a massively evolutionarily altered version? Interesting if so. And now they're trying to still get the benefit out of it without having to, you know, have them turn into Grievers, basically. Hello. Gimme. Missile expansion! Yay. I've got many, many missiles. Okay. Nothing else here. So I guess we're just continuing. Well, that looks interesting. Balsalay system. This is what they were just talking about. Rarely used to perform experimental autopsies. Online activation will be set to operating mode. Morn-made stretcher. We've examined about 1 billion of those at this point. The Morn-made operating table uses a gravity tuning device to inside the padding to stabilize specimens without the need for restraints. Just applies gravity to them. So I kind of want to look back at the logbook, specifically what it said about the Balsalay system. So With that in mind, what would happen if administering we disabled the genes at the moment the rapid cellular proliferation is triggered? There should be sufficient value in attempting this. Justify altering the Balsilei system's programming. So they're trying to alter this system's programming that performs the autopsies. So when they administer the green energy, they disable the genes that would cause the evolution. Interesting. Recording camera drone developed to autonomously record video including medical procedures. A powerful impact has rendered it unfunctional. Damn, it would have been awesome to have that video. Oh my god, a video of them doing the autopsy? That would explain so much. Storage shutter, it appears to have stopped mid-activation. And this is the access hatch that takes me down there. But I, of course, cannot get into that. Okay. Well, what do we have here? Access code approved. Autopsy systems activated. Storage unit or storage mode disabled. Operating mode initialized. Well, now I get to see it in action. That is mini arms. Hello, Balsilei. Active Balsilei system containing a TK code. Would you look at that? Okay, I guess we're turning it around. Yeah. This one's like a crest emblem. Cool. Rescan you. Ultra high performance multiprocessor and 145 installed surgical tools accommodate many types of complex surgeries, not just autopsies. That's such a cool thing that I almost am surprised it doesn't have an actual logbook entry, but it's probably mostly reserved for, you know, things that we're going to see multiple times. But it would be interesting to have, like, an even more description about that and, like, the various things that it's done, when it was made, etc., etc. Yank. What in the world are you? Now this looks like a teleporter. For the cryobot rail system. The column secures and releases pod for distribution. It's linked to the loading platform. Okay, so it's just for getting those out of here. Attempt. We were so close. Seemed like we had succeeded in disabling the problematic genes and also resetting the cells, causing the rapid proliferation process to replicate normal genetic information and restore their state. However, for some reason, we were unable to stabilize it. The subjects reverted. Right now, I want to check over the genetic analysis to see if there were any problems in our process. I do not want the setback to have been for nothing. Okay. So yeah, they're straight up trying to turn Grievers back into Lemorn, I think. If I have the right idea. And it's not like, you know, something else, like, Grievers are not Lemorn, but they're, you know, a different species that does turn to Grievers if something goes wrong, but I think what they're hinting at is that it's Lemorn, because they said they were very, very close, you know, genetically, or DNA-wise. I'm not sure what the correct term would be. They said they were very, very close there, and they were like, what is going on? And then they realized, okay, it's, when introduced to this, a different evolutionary path happens. I thought I heard something. Can I just go down here? Or, okay, I can. The music's being weird. Hello, music. Yeah, it was being a little weird there. Okay, I'll probably wait until I actually get in there to scan all of that. Haha! Don't want to miss these. Limits. Since the lab experiments begun, several subjects have been brought in each day. The lab is close to capacity, and tragically, countless brethren have lost their lives while trying to secure these subjects. I think we should stop gathering subjects, if only because our restoration experiments have thus far been unsuccessful. Yeah? I mean, that makes sense. If you're basically at capacity and aren't actually curing any of them yet, like, you know, wait until you actually have successful stories before grabbing any more. But if these are other Lemorn, I understand their need to try and cure all of them. This is like effectively like Lamorne finding out that there's like a zombie variant of them, although they're not zombies. It's not like a disease like that, it's like a completely different thing. So it's interesting. Okay, yeah, that's where I want to get to. So let me make sure nothing down here. Doesn't appear to be. There could be those little logs hiding anywhere. Okay, there are no enemies in here, so this is where my TK code's gonna be. It's probably there. There we go. Alright. Equipped with life preservation systems able to keep specimens dormant semi-permanently. Switches to internal battery if disconnected from power. Oh my god. Bulk cryopod storage. All pods functioning normally while in low power mode. Storage bay cryopod terminal. Opens the hatch of a socketed cryopod online. Okay. Now the main thing I hope is that all these grievers don't wake up while I'm in here. So we probably gotta open each of these and one of them is gonna have a TK code. You seem mighty dead. Battery depletion ultimately led to specimen death. It is frozen completely. I guess Grievers just make that noise if you get close to them, because it's kind of similar to the noise that I say is annoying and I hate when Grievers show up that works its way into the soundtrack. Did they like put out some sort of weird frequency with their bodies? That's interesting if so, if the game is just straight up leaning into that idea. Super hard. Because the other time I heard that sound was when we were looking at that vial that had the green energy in it. But now it's mostly been when it's a dead Griever. The alive ones don't make that noise. I swear. Completely frozen due to the drop in the laboratory's temperature. No life signs detected. But yeah, you're making the weird, like, barking synth music noise. Like, it's like... What about you? Griever specimen containing a TK code. There we go. Okay, wait, no, it was that way. There we go. Teardrop. Or a raindrop. Doesn't technically have to be tears. Battery depletion led to death. The drop in room temperature caused it to freeze. Opens the hatch of a socketed. Yep, currently offline. Laboratory heavy door. Yep, okay. Alright, I do believe we're out of here. Yeah, that is weird, that noise. Oh, that was the door. I was like, what was that? Yeah, I would love to get into these. But, it doesn't seem like it's going to want us to. Not until the future, at least. Okay, something is happening. That wasn't just the door. Is that... Once again, feel like I hear... an item. I hear a womb, but... Wait a minute, I didn't even think about jumping down here. Aha! Maybe. What is this, though? Oh, it's like a spider ball track. Maintenance lift currently offline. Yeah, down there. That's what I want. Yeah, that's a spider ball track. I'll put this down for you too, I think. But yeah, I thought I had heard something. I'm glad, I came back to check that really quick. Yeah. Because there's definitely something down there. possibly something important, but we haven't seen enough spider ball stuff. I don't feel like we're going to be getting that. I also just realized I should look at the time, and yeah, we're getting pretty close to the end here. So maybe I should save before opening that door. Because the save room is conveniently right over here. Still don't know how to get you. And it's going to bother me. But all I can really hope is that I can get in there some way after using this TK code. Be my assumption. Okay. Yeah, I'll leave that for next time, and we'll go ahead and end here, so. Alrighty. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time for some more.